In a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey now, everyone. Matt Haywood here from EntertainmentBuddha.com, and we are going to bring you a very special episode of the BuddhaCast. And why is it so special? Well, my friends, it's so special because we finally have one of the original members back on the cast, and that is Raymond Pareca III, aka RP3.
Hey, I'm back. Woo!
Here he is, everyone. The legend you don't even know about is gracing the airwaves of the EntertainmentBuddha.com radio network once again.
I am inside the internet right now.
Yeah, get some. He's usually working tonight, but I guess got off the hook or something, or celebrating our other compatriots' promotion to a new job. I don't know. How'd you get off?
I have no idea, to be completely honest. I just looked at the schedule this week, and I wasn't working Friday, and I'm not going to complain about it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Well, that's a beautiful thing because we're here today to talk about some of this week's hottest gaming topics. And, of course, we'll also be joined by Miss Anna Febo down there in probably sunny Florida. Who knows? I'm sure it's a lot better than the Midwest or the East where Ray is stationed right now. How you doing, Anna?
I'm good. It's definitely sunny. Nice weather.
We talking
perfect
like
weather.
80s, high 70s?
82.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yeah,
Yes.
wow.
It's a nice, balmy 48 degrees today in Columbus. So
Woo woo.
awesome. Yes, the
Not
North.
jealous about that.
The North is so great. I love Four Seasons. It's definitely worth it, especially the older you get. Okay, my friends. Well, this honestly, when you really think about, let's say, kicking off last Friday, November 6th, which was the release of Black Ops 3, really up until next Tuesday, the 17th, which will be the release of Star Wars Battlefront, this probably has to be the most action-packed, not a week and a half in gaming in 2015, because we've had obviously the Blops 3 release, and as much as we make fun of that series, we're like, oh, another Call of Duty. Well, guess what, people? It sold another $550 million in 3 days, so it's obviously still a popular franchise. And then we rolled right into Rise of the Tomb Raider, an Xbox platform exclusive on Tuesday, and of course, the game that was given Game of the Year back in June, Fallout 4. So it's an action-packed couple of days that we've been dealing with in gaming, and then obviously next week we have Star Wars Battlefront coming out. And to really spice things up this week, the Game Awards, yes, that's the name of the show now, released its nominees for the award show that's going to be like early December 3rd or something like that. So we got a few things to riff on. It's been an action-packed, busy type of week for myself, and I'm sure you two have been dabbling in some of the new releases. I know I've seen Anna with the Tomb Raider up, but she's still back in Destiny by the end of the night. And,
it's just an addiction. It's a bad addiction, and
hey.
if there was rehab for Destiny, I would need to enter it because it's ridiculous.
I mean, I used to make fun of people that did that because I didn't understand the allure of Destiny and focusing on it every day. But, after taking King, we've talked about, I'm not going to go into it, but I get it now. It is somewhere fun to hang out with friends and try to conquer the next big challenge. So I don't blame you there. I've been doing the same thing with Halo 5, believe it or not. I try to play Warzone every night now just because I kind of like getting my ass kicked. But really, it's all about getting rec packs.
Yep.
I live for rec packs, which are essentially engrams with guaranteed good loot and no duplicates. So, Ray, I know you said you somehow you grabbed Fallout 4 on the cheap, and I think you at least played it for a little bit because I used one of your videos today about being a mute in the game. So,
yeah.
Early impressions. What are you thinking, man? I mean, we've talked offline and on Skype and all that stuff, but have you had enough time to just kind of wrap your head around it, or no?
Yeah. I think I have like 5-6 hours, maybe.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
On. Yeah. I don't know. It's an interest. I mean, it's Fallout 3 with some elements of The Sims put into it, I guess. But it's been kind of interesting to see. What I guess it was Monday when reviews were off embargo, seeing kind of the blowback or the little dissonance between some critical scores and some fans that haven't even touched the game kind of having a problem with that.
Definitely.
And I don't know, man. It's an okay game. Like we gave it a 78, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we were
it's-
actually one of the lower
Yeah.
scores out there. I think
Yeah,
Destructoid
but-
beat us with a 75.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. It's like that's like right how I feel about it right now. Like it's a good game. It's just not too, I don't know, not too fun. So I don't know. Again, it's only 5-6 hours, and I'm a pretty negative person to begin with. So
Yeah,
It's just-
I mean, we
it's
do
hard,
have to
yeah.
make that disclaimer, but that also means he takes his gaming very seriously. He's not just
Yeah.
gonna blow smoke up your ass either. So
yeah, and I think Fallout is a game or a series at least that gets like a free pass from a lot of people.
oh, definitely. That's
Or
what I was
like
gonna
earlier
say.
this year, I wrote a piece that was where I pretty much said like Fallout 3 is not as good as you guys remember it as, and I think Fallout 4 is destined to have that same kind of thing where people look back and say, man, that was the best game ever. But I mean, it feels like it's just 3 different games at once. So
Anna, have you had a chance to check out Fallout, or have you been with Tomb Raider and Destiny?
No, I haven't played. I've been alternating between Tomb Raider, Destiny, and Black Ops.
Well, I'm sure you've kind of heard what we're talking about. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like Ray said on Monday, the review embargo lifted, and pretty much any of the quotes top tier gaming sites out there were like 95, 100, 98. Oh my god! And it's I really think it is a byproduct of what Ray brought up. It's one of those franchises that gets a pass on its
yeah,
previous
I mean, there's
entries.
no way that is a 9 or a 10 like near perfect or perfect video game. It's just not.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It does there's a lot to do in it, certainly, but it's the same stuff you did in 2008, and it's just not as good as some people want you to think. It probably sits at like a 90 on Metacritic right now, and it's
I think it might have dipped to an 89, but it's still way
yeah. I
up
mean,
there.
I think it's a 86, I guess now. Yeah, 86, at least the PC version. But yeah, it's just one of those games that it's nowhere near as good as I think a lot of people want you to think it is. But it's fun, certainly. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna probably play like 100 hours of it.
It's
I don't
one of
like
those
that.
weird games, and I'm right there with you. Like
Yeah.
I found myself, and even now I'm looking forward to playing it tonight. And honestly, I haven't done a damn thing in the game
Yeah, no,
for
yeah,
6
man, I'm
hours.
right there.
But fucking walk around, look for trash, and shoot raiders. I mean,
Yeah,
I
they
haven't
need
done
to
any.
patch
No
so
main
much.
missions, nothing. I mean, just hanging out. But that's what Fallout does to you. You do kind of assume that role as a wanderer, but is that an action-packed, deep narrative experience? I don't think so. And
Well, not with their writing, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
and I did a piece today
Mm-hmm.
because really everyone's been hammering on the graphics. Is it next gen? Is it not next gen? So obviously that's a hot topic when it comes to Fallout 4. I mean, the graphics definitely aren't up at the level of a Halo 5 and Until
No,
Dawn.
it looks like
a
Fallout
Witcher
3
3.
with a mod.
Yeah, it's smoother textures, it's better lighting. The character models look a little bit better, but that all gets destroyed, and that's what I wrote about today
Mm-hmm.
with the animations. I mean, the animations are archaic. I mean, we're
It's
talking
bad.
way back. I mean, I said last gen. We could say 10 years ago. I mean, when you get into a dialogue with a mission giver and it focuses on each one of your faces, it is laughable. And in the piece, I included a video of the Chuck E. Cheese robots. That's exactly what they look like, except the Chuck E. Cheese robots actually blink sometimes. And it really takes you out of the world. And like Ray said, the writing's not super strong to begin with. So now when you're getting these missions and you're supposed to care about some of these characters because some of them are your NPC companions, you can bring them with you. And you talk to them and they're just like, oh, yeah. I mean, the voice acting is okay, but the way the lips move and the eyes literally never blink. There's no other facial animations, like no muscles moving. I mean, you compare that to what they got in Halo 5, it's night and day. I mean, it's almost disgusting that has occurred in a game that was specifically designed for current gen and PC only.
Yeah, like the Halo comparison is good too, but I think the most apt one is going to be this is an open world RPG that came out in the same year as The Witcher 3.
Yeah,
So people should I mean, I don't think you can compare every single game to every single game, but man, it's like, what the hell? How can you not criticize Fallout 3 for just kind of being not what it should be based off of a year where we saw maybe the best open world role-playing game of all time come out? So I think it falls flat, and there's things like, you know, the dialogue and the animations that are just inexcusable, especially for a team that is so well respected and, you know, highly paid and all that shit like Bethesda is. It just, like, I don't know, it feels cheap.
It does, and it kind of sucks to say that. I'm not like a huge Fallout homer. I honestly never even got into the series until Fallout 3, which I fell in love with. I think mostly because it was so brand new to me. I mean,
everyone fell in love with that game, and I'm not crazy about it, but I still played that for probably like 200 hours.
Yeah, same here.
It's that kind of game, yeah.
But it's just like you said. I mean, I'm excited to be back to Fallout. I know you enjoyed New Vegas. I didn't quite like that one as much as Fallout 3. So I'm glad to be back in the universe. But when you think about the time the team had to develop it, the technologies that are present in, you know, now as compared to when Fallout 3 came back, you're like, did they cut some corners? I mean, what happened there? Or was it just, hey, we're Bethesda, this is Fallout 4, we've got Todd Howard, this shit's going to fucking sell and people are going to love it?
I honestly, I hope it's not the second point there, but it probably is.
And it paid off because the game, I mean, they released the news today. It was they shipped 12 million units for day one sales that equal $750 million. So I don't know if it really made that game or made all that money, but typically when a manufacturer ships that many units, they're expecting them to move because you don't just ship
there's
inventory
no doubt
for
that
fun.
They're moving as many of those units as we could ever understand.
Right. So the game obviously has been a massive financial success, and quite frankly, based on a lot of its critiques, it's also a critical success.
Yeah, like it's an interesting game, in that there's so much it does that's fun and interesting, and then there's so much that it does that's just like, how are you doing this in 2015?
Yeah.
Like,
I find some of the glitches to be entertaining. They don't bother me as much. Really, the thing that bites my ass is the animations and the dialogue stuff. Some of the glitches, like I had a mole rat come out of a hole and dog meat went after it, and he literally punted it into space. I mean, it went
I hope you recorded that.
It went back. I did. It went and he just fucking was flying. It was hilarious. So, Anna, since you haven't played it yet, after hearing this and reading stuff, are you anxious to get to it, or did you guys just buy it to get the Pip-Boy?
Well, now that you bring that up, we actually made the decision that we just didn't need it, because truthfully, Nick and I are just playing Destiny so much that why are we going to spend the money on another game that is probably just going to sit on the shelf? So we just sold the Pip-Boy to one of our really good friends and let him go nuts with it. So
I respect that.
Yeah.
So I mean, instead of, we could have easily been assholes and put it on eBay for like triple the price, because they're not making them anymore, but we were like, nah, we know our friend wants it, so we just sold it to him, and he's been having a blast with it. So I mean, I'm probably never gonna play the game. I mean, we have Fallout 3. I've never played it.
Okay.
Never played it, but then again, I mean, I still have a lot of games that I haven't gotten to that I'll eventually get to, but I just keep buying games, and I don't mean to, but I just do.
Yeah, it's almost like we all have an addiction somewhat to gaming, and we feel like if we aren't getting the new games that we're not, paying homage to our hobby or something. Because I kind of do the same shit. I mean, I bought Mad Max knowing there's no chance in hell I'd probably play it this year. And it's still sitting on my desk. And there's probably 10 other games that I've purchased. I mean, shit, I still haven't finished the fucking Witcher 3, which is a goddamn shame. But it is what it is. We've all talked about it. Once you get into this shit and you want to start a website and all that fucking stuff to get early games, you don't really get to play the games you think you want to play. You kind of are dictated by what you can play and stuff you can write about. So, I don't know. I think another game that's going to fall victim to all these things coming out and just having certain obligations is going to be Battlefront. I'm not super jazzed on it anyways, but I'm going to get it because I'm a Star Wars freak and it's Star Wars.
Yeah, we actually canceled our pre-order. That's another one we just passed on.
I just know it's going to be exactly what we're talking about. I'm going to buy it. It's going to sit there. And I'm never going to touch it because I'd rather play, at this point, Fallout 4, Halo 5. Yeah. Maybe Destiny, although I'm pissed at Destiny because it's last Friday. My small group of Destiny friends wanted to play, and they're like, let's do the Nightmare. We go, and they're just being slapdicks, so I wasted 2 hours of my life, and then we quit. We quit and we quit and didn't finish it, so I didn't get shit. And I'm like,
dude,
fuck you
how
guys.
Many times have I told you?
Dude,
holler.
It was the
holler.
worst, and I was a little drunk, so I was fucking angry and yelling. I was like, you guys just seriously wasted my life. So.
Yeah.
We'll kind of put the Fallout 4 discussion to bed. I mean, quite frankly, it's just one of those weird games where it's on the outside there's nothing going, this is fucking amazing, but there's something about it that you're just drawn to it and you want to live in it and play it.
Well, based from like what I've read on the website and what little headlines that I've seen on other websites, I mean, I think it's fair that AJ, gave the score that he gave it because, at the end of the day, he is reviewing a game. I mean, you can be a fan of a franchise or a game or whatever, but you can still review it and give it an honest score. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think people just have to disconnect that sometimes. That
you're trying to tell gamers to be reasonable people? Come on.
Like, I mean, just people be reasonable in general,
we are the most fussy group of individuals in the galaxy. I mean,
hair is what gets me in every game. If you can't get the hair right, why are you fucking making the game? Like, seriously.
Well, speaking of, Fallout 4 has some terrible hair because my beard in the game looks like I took a... Did you ever have... I mean, you guys... Well, Anna might. I don't know about Ray, but when we were little, Anna, you remember... These real cheap things that had a bunch of like lead.
With the magnets?
Yeah, like lead filings in it. And
you their facial hair does look just like that.
Yeah, I mean that's what my dude looks like. He looks like he has like metal coming off of his face. It looks like wiry spaghetti.
It's just bad. Like I don't get it. I don't understand how much money can be spent on all this technology to make, video game characters look like as lifelike as they can possibly be, but you can't get the hair right. You're seriously telling me you can't get the hair right?
It's just because to do hair, like to do it properly, you have to essentially, like the way hair is, if you think of it, it's a solid object on a lot of characters, and to do like real dynamic hair,
each strand has to have physics.
It comes down to just, it becomes such a resource hog. It's the same thing with like seeing characters in mirrors a lot of times, because you essentially have to re-render the entire thing and relight it that way. It just it's like, I agree with you, granted, but it's one of those like weird things that we've never figured out the best way. I mean, The Witcher's got great hair though, because that's a better game than Fallout, I guess.
Well, he does.
Yeah,
he does. A little bit of footage that I saw. I mean, his hair was absolutely gorgeous. I was like, okay, he passes.
Great abs too.
Yeah,
I don't know about all that. I mean, I didn't get to see that much. I just saw his hair.
I really am disappointed. I haven't been able to just sink into that game because, I mean, I think it's going to be that or Fallout 4 Game of the Year. Not for me, maybe for me, but I think at that Game Awards show, I think. Mm-hmm. I think Fallout 4 has almost already been crowned Game of the Year, but I think it's going to be hard to pass up The Witcher 3. It just, to me, it's a much more ambitious project. It's a lot more work appears to be put into it, not taking anything away from Fallout 4's developers. But the Witcher 3 is just, it's about as flawless as it gets for a game of that size and scope.
Yeah. There's no arguing. There's nothing really wrong with that game.
Yeah, and it's 2 DLC packs are going to get you almost 40 hours of new content. I mean, that's just insane. That's insane. I mean, Halo 5's campaign was 5 fucking hours.
God.
And the DLC in The Witcher is, 4 times that. It's a beautiful thing. Not that I'll probably ever get to it, but I can dream, right? We got us in academia have got winter break coming up soon, so I'll get almost a month off. We'll see what I can knock off in that time period. But so let's move on. And speaking of hair, I think Halo 5 again. They did great hair too.
Oh yeah.
Fillion's
Oh
hair
yeah.
looked beautiful. I mean, he looks
It
just
did.
like the guy.
No, seriously.
They might have
Halo-
crafted a shady campaign, but technically that game is about as flawless as it gets.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then when I finished the campaign, like I mean I don't know if it was the same reaction as other people, but I was like, really? Like that's how you're gonna fucking end this shit?
Yeah,
like,
man, it's Halo
like that?
2 times 10. I mean, it's Halo 2 times 10.
Like,
Yeah.
oh
So
man.
anyways, I know Ray doesn't want spoilers, so we won't get any
Oh,
further than that.
dude, I could give a shit.
Because I know he's dying to get an Xbox One right after this podcast.
Yeah, for Scalebound. It's the only game I will probably buy that system, play Scalebound, and never use it again. Like,
I've actually, for most of this generation, I've been on the PS4, but lately I've had a resurgence on the Xbox One, so still kind of flip back and forth. But that Elite controller is a fucking thing of beauty.
yeah,
so
that thing is dope.
it's almost too dope for someone like me that gets really, really OCD with, am I using the best setup? Is this gonna make me better? I mean, dude, I've used the short sticks mixed with the long stick. I've used both long sticks. I've used round nubs with concave nubs. I mean, it is nuts sometimes how much time I'll spend before I play Halo 5 trying to figure out what the best combination is to make me a 0.2 kill to death ratio player instead of a 0.1. Because
whatever
I mean,
makes you happy
I
at
need
the end
every
of the day, right?
I need every advantage. So these days when I game, I more or less configure my controller and my TV's display settings, and I don't really game. I just fuck with those things, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna watch TV. Okay, so real quick, I know Ray obviously hasn't checked this one out, but Rise of the Tomb Raider, which still dumbfounds me that Microsoft and Crystal Dynamics decided to go head-to-head with Fallout 4.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense because it's an exclusive title, so you're not going to have the platform coverage of a Fallout 4.
Nope.
Well, you know what I think it is I was thinking about this recently, actually. Since the first, like, the Tomb Raider reboot, I think it did, like, 5 million units, like, early on or something, and I know Square Enix was not happy about that. They saw that, I guess, as a failure or whatever. So I'm thinking that maybe once Microsoft kind of dangled some money for the exclusivity kind of stuff there, they were like, yeah, whatever, and then let them kind of set all that stuff.
Yeah, even if that's true, what the fuck is Microsoft PR thing, or what's Microsoft marketing thinking? I mean, it's just, I found it curious that Black Ops 3 came out on a Friday, but when you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, well, they wanted to get the jump on fucking Tuesday because they saw what was coming. I mean, like I said, I think Fallout 4 won Game of the Year the moment it was announced. It's just one of those franchises and titles that people go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over. And we saw the figures today. I bet Tomb Raider isn't even close to that. I mean, it's probably a fraction of that. I would be surprised if Tomb Raider sold $150 million. I mean, because it's, two platforms again. And
I mean, like, just I'm not very far at all. I'm not, but just playing like the little bit that I did, I felt like I was playing Tomb Raider all over again, and I'm like, oh look, she's slipping and she's falling. I have to dangle from a cliff, and oh look at that.
Give it some time. Once you make it to the Soviet installation, it opens up a bit. But yes, it's very similar to Tomb Raider 2013, except there's actual tombs now, and the tombs are fantastic.
Well, I mean, when I went in that first tomb at the very, very beginning, I was like, holy shit, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, everything from just the lighting to the reflection to the water, just the environment, everything was beautiful.
No, Rise of the Tomb Raider is a legit game. It literally got buried in Fallout 4 news and hype. I mean, no one gave a shit about Tomb Raider coming out this week. No one.
Nope. Which is sad.
All the headlines were Fallout 4 this, Fallout 4 bug, Fallout 4 glitch, Fallout 4 graphics. Oh, Rise of the Tomb Raider is awesome, but no one will know, and Fallout 4 this. So
I did think it was funny, though, that, like, right off the bat, she was already bloody, dirty, and wet.
I
like,
mean,
within,
let's
like-
face it. Laura Croft is the fucking Terminator. Okay, I mean,
Right.
she is a bigger badass than any other adventure hero ever in any medium. I mean, she goes throughout this whole game wearing like a fucking t-shirt in Siberia.
Yeah.
I mean, come
Yeah.
on, people.
I'm like,
You want to talk
oh,
about
okay.
a robot? That lady is impervious to anything. At least the climate. She does
Yeah.
not need to stay warm in temperatures that would typically kill humans in
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Apparently.
But whatever, it's video games, people.
Right.
We get it, okay? I'm not taking it that seriously. But really, I mean, Rise of the Tomb Raider is a great game. I mean, it's definitely, when we're just talking about its technical offerings and its graphics, its sound, its voiceovers, its missions, and really its gameplay, it's definitely a step above Fallout 4, but it's not going to get that recognition because it's not Fallout 4. So,
I also
sorry.
think the Tomb Raider reboot sucks. So
Oh, you don't like it, dude? But she's such a
No.
powerful woman now.
that has nothing to do with that. I just think it's a pretty stupid game. I don't know. It's one of those things from the second I started it. I was like, I don't like this, and it never got better. But
I
I know
think-
that I know a lot of people like it, and a lot of people think it's very important to them. So I'm very happy that a lot of people like it.
Yeah, Rise,
That's how I feel.
Rise definitely improves upon what the first one offered because of the challenge tombs, and those are fun, and those do kind of throw back to the original series. But it's a better Uncharted, in my opinion. It's a better Uncharted franchise. I find her more interesting than Nathan for some reason. We'll leave that at that. So.
Oh, Nathan.
Yeah, I don't know. I've liked the Uncharted game. I thought Uncharted 1 was complete garbage. Uncharted 2, much better. 3, I don't even remember, so it couldn't have been that good. And 4, I'm not really even that excited about it, but I'm sure
Yeah,
I'll check it
I
out.
probably will never play Uncharted 4.
Yeah, I mean, they're,
Never played any of them, so.
I mean, it's the new Tomb Raider essentially. I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
fucking thing. The new Tomb Raider borrowed from Uncharted liberally and put a girl in there and didn't just give her big tits and actually made her somewhat of an interesting, powerful character. That's about the only difference. So I guess the last thing I want to talk about, have a nice quick cast here, is, and you guys can pull it up on the site if you haven't seen it yet, but the Game Awards nominees were announced today.
Oh, yeah, they were.
And there's a shit ton of them, but they're pretty much the same games over and over and over again. If you actually take a look at the list, I'll drop the link in the chat, Anna, if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just scan through a couple of these and kind of get your thoughts. I highlighted my choices in red, and this was based on their nominations. These will not be the Golden Buddhas that we'll do again late December. But if you just scroll through the list, guys, I mean, it's pretty clear that the industry, and by industry I mean top-tier media.
You mean Jeff Keighley?
Yeah, I mean him, McNamara, pretty much any of the editors, Kotaku editor, all those are people that vote on this shit. Game of the Year right off the bat, all huge titles. I mean, all massive titles that even people that don't game would have heard about. Super Mario Maker, I wonder about that one.
Yeah, that's
That's
a stupid addition for a Game of the Year category, I think.
Right? I mean, is it really even a game? Is it not more of a development tool or like a fucking developer simulator, in my opinion? I mean, is that game going to have legs outside of the end of this year? I mean, are people really going to design levels for the next 5 years?
That's going to be the kind of game that's going to have like a very small but dedicated following as it goes forward. Like, you're going to have real creative minded people who really, they keep staying with it and building crazy stuff.
Yeah, so super niche-y. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nothing massive. Fallout 4 shouldn't surprise anyone. Bloodborne, that doesn't surprise me either. Ray, do you think it deserves to be in there?
I think it should be in there. I don't think it should win Game of the Year, though.
Well, I mean, it was a new IP, new character,
Yes, yeah.
and it improved upon, or at least I think it improved upon what you guys like in those From Software games.
Certainly. I think it has it checks all the right boxes as far as being like a Game of the Year candidate. I just don't think it will win, or should win, I guess I should say.
How about the Phantom Pain? That one I have not touched, nor I really care to. I know you've dabbled in it. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, again, there's no way it shouldn't be considered, but I don't think there's any way it will win or should win.
And then obviously The Witcher 3, I think that definitely earns its.
That's game of the year.
Yeah, that's probably going to be my personal game of the year too. Yeah. So out of you two, I mean, do you think there's any games missing from that category?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't even be able to add anything because the amount of games that I've actually played this year are like slim to none.
Well, no, I mean, let's focus on that. Do you think the Taken King deserves to be in there, considering all the people brought to the game and how many people still religiously play it?
I mean, the Taken King it's not really a game. It's an expansion, but it honestly could have been released as its own game.
Well, they did. I mean, they charged basically $60.
I mean, they charge $60, but I mean, it's for year one expansions, and then you get a game, and basically everything from year one is useless. But I mean, I don't think it really qualifies as game of the year. I mean, year two is 10 times better than year one, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would ever even qualify, regardless of how many people play it.
What do you think, Ray? Anything missing?
Undertale, but I think that has a bunch of noms in other categories.
Yeah, it's in like the artsy fartsy stuff. I don't even know what the fuck that is. So I'm a big AAA doofus. Me personally, I'm trying to think, and I don't know. Maybe you throw Ori and the Blind Forest in the game of the year, even though it is a game, but it's not like a huge game. I can't think of anything else that would go in there though, besides the one I'm looking at. I don't agree with Super Mario Maker, but
I don't think that should have been there. I mean, I could have seen Splatoon being as a contender for Game of the Year, only because it was, something new from Nintendo.
Oh, yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
It's such a different game for a Nintendo platform. There's no doubt. So let's talk about that then. What criteria goes into a game of the year for you guys? Is it sales dollars? Is it your own experience?
Sales have nothing to do with it.
Is it other people's experience? Is it overall review scores? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, like Ray said, I don't think money or how well it did should even factor into it. I think the actual content of the game would speak for itself. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of this is probably based off of that. I mean, and some of it is, probably corporate related. Like, they're obligated to, include, games like this as game of the year. But, I mean, I didn't play Bloodborne. I haven't played Fallout 4. Metal Gear Solid, I could really care less about. Mario Maker, I'll probably never play. Witcher 3, I've never played any of the Witcher games, so I don't even know if it's anything that would catch my attention. So right off the bat, all of these games, I would just fuck them. I could care less.
Yeah, you heard it right here, people. Fuck those games.
It's just
fuck it.
I don't know. And with all the reboots and the Halo 5s and the Assassin's Creed this and the Black Ops and the this, I mean, it's hard to find something even remotely original in the middle of all of that.
I think it's an interesting thing to think about, like how these games get here. I mean, again, they're being voted on by the personalities in the industry that a lot of people look to as the end-all, be-all of the gaming public's voice. Yeah, so, I just thought it was kind of generic game of the year, but maybe there is nothing else that could go in there. Honestly, I can't think of anything else.
I mean, and you have Witcher 3 highlighted, and just based off of everything that I've heard from Witcher 3, I mean, I would say maybe that is what should win.
I really think it's going to be between that and Fallout 4. So we go to developer year, and no surprise, it's the same fucking studios of all the game of the years. So that's kind of unoriginal in my opinion. It's just like, oh well, if your game is game of the year, you're automatically developer of the year, which I don't agree with. I think you could throw in some other people. I mean, I think High Moon could be, or Moon Studios could be in there. Some other people could be in there. So the other one interesting, and I want Ray's opinion on this one, best independent games. Is that a good mix, Ray, or did they miss one?
It's a good mix, I guess. I think it's cool that Her Story is on there. I don't think Action Verge should be on there. Rocket League and Undertale are solid additions. I think Undertale should win. Undertale should win every category it's in, I think.
I honestly don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, and don't
when
bother.
When did I miss that? I mean, when did that come out, or what is it?
Like a month or two ago, and it came out just like out of nowhere. It was a Kickstarter game, and I think it went silent for a while, and then just kind of released. And it's probably one of the most special games you'll ever play, as long as you, excuse me, as long as you go into it without knowing anything about it. Like, I've wanted to write about it, but by the nature of writing about it, I feel like I'd spoil it for anyone who read it.
Can you even tell us the genre it
Yeah,
may live in?
it's a JRPG.
And is it
sort
just
of.
PC?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I think it's $10. It's
All right.
the easiest $10 you'll ever spend for the most, like, oh god, that was a good experience kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no, I love indie games. I just don't usually have time to play the big ones. I'm playing the little random ones we get codes for. But I mean, my pick here is Ori, big time, because I love that game. Best mobile handheld. This category is only going to grow over time, people, so get used to it. Mobile gaming is here to stay, and I actually enjoy it because I'm a fucking Clodite. But
yeah, but I think it's weird to keep handheld and mobile games in the same category.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree.
That's stupid.
It should be literally handheld games, which is your 3DS. Really, that's it now, right? I mean, Vita
Yeah, you get
hasn't
your
gotten
Vita, yeah.
hasn't gotten any
Yeah.
new games in decades at this point. So really, the category should just be best 3DS game, and then best. How could we phrase it? Best
Mobile.
mobile device game.
Yeah, a
I mean,
handheld
Yeah.
is a handheld system.
yeah.
Yeah.
A mobile is a mobile device. So that's how I
Yep.
look at it. Yeah, I mean, Downwell. That's I think between Witcher 3 and Downwell, those are the two highest scored games I've given all year.
Well, it's like you said, right? It's hard to compare a Monster Hunter fucking 4
like,
to Fallout Shelter. I mean, they're not even remotely the same type of games or platforms. I mean, Fallout Shelter's free, first of
Yep.
all, and it's literally a ant farm on your phone with little Vault Tech people. I have it. I play it every day. It's mindless and that's why I love it. But they don't even match to me. And I feel like Downwell is more of a full-on game than a mobile game too. I mean, Lara Croft Go, yes, that's a mobile. I don't know what the fuck Pac-Man 256 is. I'm guessing, was that an App Store game or is that a handheld? I'm assuming it's an App Store game because
I think so. Yeah, I think it is.
best.
Yeah, it is.
Best narrative, interesting one here.
This is a shitty category.
Yeah, I know the Tales
Okay.
is probably
Life
torquing
is
you
Strange
up.
is probably the worst written game.
Yeah,
of the
I haven't
year.
touched it. I haven't touched Her Story.
Her Story should win strictly for how interesting that game is in terms of its narrative, and the entire game is essentially its narrative. Tales from the Borderland and Life is Strange, anyone who thinks those are two really well-written games should have their head examined. And yes, I'm talking to all of my peers in the games criticism sphere. You're all wrong and you're all dumb. I'm sorry.
I was going to bring up, I was like, I know, Ray, you read Twitter like I do, and I know you have some of the other professional writers in there, and they would literally, if Tales from the Borderlands had a dick, they would suck it hard.
Yeah.
And if
Wow.
Life is Strange had a dick, they'd probably suck it even harder. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
And-
people
Well-
out there telling me that Tales should be a game of
Well-
the year, hands down.
Tales from the Borderlands, I only played the first episode, and that's it.
Yeah, and I
Like, I could
scored the
care
first
less.
episode high. I really did.
And then you want down and down and down
And
down.
then
from,
it hit me. I was like, this is stupid. Yeah. It's just, and I didn't
Yeah.
even score it because of the writing. I was just like, oh man, this feels better than Game of Thrones, which is a garbage piece of junk game
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah,
I
get
yeah,
to
and for
wrap
Game of
that
Thrones,
next
I only
week.
played the first episode of that too, and was like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't compare to The Walking Dead.
No, we just
like-
need to realize that Telltale's games aren't games. I
They're
mean,
they're not. They're just
they're interactive
decision making
stories.
games.
That's
Yeah.
it.
yeah, but then by the same, like Until Dawn is
Oh,
the
Dawn,
same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, at least with Until Dawn, I mean, people die or like really weird things happen to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
have a
and that's
I
like
wouldn't
that's
say
the
that has one
entertaining
of the
part.
best narratives though.
No.
no.
I was watching someone stream the game, and I don't even know what part it was, but it was there was like a saw of some sort.
Yeah.
And then it's like you have to choose, and I think he chose the girl. Like the way that his decisions played out, he chose the girl, but it ended up like sawing the guy in half, the iRobot guy.
Yeah. Mr. Robot.
And and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Like that was fun to watch. But
I wonder if these people understand what narrative means when you look at something.
I don't think they do. I mean, like Arkham Knight maybe wasn't like such a great game, but just the exploration between the balance between Batman and Joker, I thought that was told well. I mean, I could have seen that as a narrative.
Batman almost lost his fucking mind, really.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
infected by that shit, and the playing off of Joker in his head. That was pretty good.
Like I could have seen that maybe being in the category for best narrative.
You know what? Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, but that's it. I mean,
I think Ori could have been in there too. I mean, that was a heartwarming little story from start to finish.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I only did like the opening of Ori, but I think I was like almost brought to tears by like just the beginning of the game because
it's very artistic.
You know?
It's a well laid out game. I mean, Ray, would you consider Witcher 3 to have a really great narrative or?
Well, no. I think it's interesting, but I don't know. Narrative, like if we treat narrative how narrative, like as narrative is a term in literature or like film, then certainly not. And, you know, narrative in those mediums is pretty much how events are told. So, again, like none of these do that. I don't think even Ori would fall into a category that way. Her story out of these ones is the only one that like has its story told in an interesting or compelling way. Life is Strange just says, oh man, time travel, that's weird. Tales from the Borderlands just like, hey, in media res storytelling. Like it's all of these games except her story, I think, in this use like super tired conceits. So her story sounds so weird when you say it though.
Yeah, it sounds creepy as fuck.
I think that we should use best story as opposed to best narrative, despite that making games seem like even more of a joke.
To me, when I see that title, I think of a game about a transgender person.
What, like her story?
Yeah, like a man becoming a girl.
Yeah, not that, but the guy Sam Barlow who did it, he did Silent Hill Shattered Memories, if you played that. Like he has a knack for narrative structure in his games. So whatever, I hope he wins because, you know, that was a cool thing he made. I'm not crazy about it, but it is pretty cool.
I think the art direction category has some decent entries in there.
Yeah, no, certainly. Splatoon should be in there, though. That has the best art direction.
Sure.
Yeah, that was a pretty vibrant game. Yeah. Best score soundtrack, that's like,
Yeah.
For some reason, I picked Fallout 4 because I do like the orchestral side.
There is some cool little music bits that play. I've noticed that. Yeah.
And you can't fault the old school radio. I mean, I love throwing that on sometimes and just singing, you know, hacking, slashing, and whacking.
Yeah, you were saying that before we recorded.
Yeah, they're catchy songs. I mean,
but this is almost kind of like the same. Like I don't know, the way that I see this category is kind of like the mobile.
Yeah,
and
no,
handheld.
Anna, you're right.
Like
you are so right.
Like these two are different because I mean with Halo 5 it is gonna be a score. Like if you're getting that, you're specifically
you're exactly
getting it for the
right.
score.
They're two different things. A score to me is more orchestral, where a soundtrack is tracks of songs. Like
if in
go on.
Oh no, like if in Fallout 4 you're saying like there's these little songs that play, then they release that as an album. Then yes, that is a soundtrack to Fallout 4.
Yeah,
that's not really a score. I don't know. I could have seen Destiny on here. I mean, they didn't really change too much, but they did a few different things.
It's essentially Halo music with a slight variation to it.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It is. I mean, there are some. There's
still a lot of
in their music that is fucking Halo dead on. I love
it. There's still a lot about that game that's
Bungie's
Halo,
like,
but
fuck it. We created it. We're gonna steal as much as we can and put in our new game. Best performance, I'm definitely going with Hamill because I mean his Joker.
Oh, absolutely,
the best Joker ever voiced. I mean,
as long as it's not Ashley Birch, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean I love Geralt, but I don't find the voice acting. I mean, he's very monotone and.
Yeah, you know what though, but he is, but that's what makes it feel so powerful when there's some important story things, because you get to see this like gruff bastard kind of have some heart to him.
Yeah.
But I think the woman from Her Story, honestly though, because that game is literally you looking at her performance, like trying to infer what's going on in the story. So the game is literally her acting the entire time, and she's pretty damn good.
I'll give you that.
What the hell is Games for Change, though?
I was just going to say, this is one of those categories that just sometimes makes me feel ashamed to be in gaming. And
but
there's
some good games on there, I guess, but like I don't know what that award means.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean? Does it mean it promotes fucking
like awareness for something?
Yeah, like transgender.
Nina Freeman's game is about playing an online game and having sex with a person who you fall in love with in the game. Okay. Life is Strange is about time traveling hipsters. Sunset is about a shitty love story told through an apartment and civil unrest. Undertale is the best game of the year, so Undertale wins.
All right, I'll take it.
And Undertale, if it is like Games for Change, as in like innovative and stuff, or whatever they want this to mean, it is Undertale. I think that's what
it's supposed to mean.
Okay.
It is 100% Undertale.
Yeah, because you're describing the first game, and it's like meeting people online and then having sex. I'm like, how is that changing anything?
Well, I don't look at the critical reviews and try to interpret that stuff. I mean,
that's Tinder. You can do it in real life. Shooter, I'm going Halo 5. Just for pure shooter controls and its technical offerings. I know what Anna's going to pick, but I'm going Halo 5.
I mean, I know you think I'm going to say Destiny, but, I mean, Call of Duty is always a fan favorite.
Well, what do you think? I mean, what would you pick out of that list?
I mean, I could see Splatoon.
Hey.
I mean, a part of me wants to root for Splatoon.
Oh, I get it.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure it won't win anything. But I mean, I could see it between.
Well, you got to remember, the people voting on this are the people at the big stuff that like, new fruity type of stuff. So I could see Splatoon winning.
I mean, Destiny wouldn't. I don't see it, but Call of Duty or Halo 5 probably. Yeah. Like if it's like the people voting on like the thing, then Splatoon or Call of Duty probably.
I think the action adventure category is pretty well represented. I think the games in there are pretty legit for that category.
Mm-hmm.
See, again, this is like Ori is a 2D platformer. There could be a category for platformers. Don't lump it in with like Metal Gear Solid or Batman. Right. Or Assassin's Creed.
No,
like that's just not fair.
It'll get killed. Yeah, it's gonna get killed.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would be. Why don't we put it as the best role playing game too? Because you can level up, kind of argument.
No, you're right. You're right.
I think that's stupid. I hope Pillars of Eternity wins RPG though. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I think that's a good representation for RPG.
Yeah, that's the most like well-rounded, or not even well-rounded, most like accurate category as a whole, I think.
Well, and I mean, you could say that about fighting game too, because it's not like that genre really gets a lot of titles anymore.
Is Rising Thunder even out? I think that's like in early access. But I mean, Mortal Kombat will win that. It'd be cool if Guilty Gear Xrd won, but I didn't play any of them except MKX. So
family game, it's essentially all toys to life, and I think 3.0 kills the other ones. I mean, I don't think it's close.
Well, Splatoon can't even really be. I mean, it's a family game, but I mean, it's only one player. I mean, you can't really.
Yeah, that's
because it's Nintendo published, so therefore it's family. So let's.
Well, it's the same like Mario Maker. I mean, how many fucking people are going to sit around and watch you jerk off and create a map and then play it? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played anything Lego Dimensions. I honestly don't care to, because
you said it was a shit
that
show.
Shit just looks overly complicated. Fuck that. I could see Disney Infinity or Skylanders taking this.
I think 3.0 is going to win just because of Star Wars. I mean, that's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Sports games, I think Forza is probably the best big boy game, but I think Rocket League should win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
same.
I would see Rocket League winning this one. That's a lot of fun.
It's one of those free-to-play games that literally just took the industry by storm, and people fell in love with it for months. I mean, I don't think people crack out on it as much as they used to, but it was like the hot game of the summer, no doubt. Multiplayer Halo 5, no question. I mean, it's not even a fucking question there. I'm not even going to give you guys a vote on that one.
Destiny.
Is Rocket League fucking... I guess it is multiplayer.
Yeah.
No, I mean...
No, Anna, you're right. I mean, Destiny, obviously,
No.
if you think about all the shit you can do with people, it should be...
The only gripe that I have is that I hate that everything is like a 3-person fire team for certain things. It's like, I get it. There's like 3 different types of guardians. There's 3 different type of classes.
And
but...
the matchmaking's beat sometimes. It's just that's why I said Halo 5, because
Yeah.
it's really, that shit's buttoned up. I mean, 343 learned their lesson. I mean, I haven't had an issue.
But even Black Ops, like, okay, so I'm playing and I literally turn the corner and I'm dead, and I'm just like, is this motherfucker just waiting for me to turn the corner? Yeah. Like, he's just watching the radar, and it's like, oh, there's a red dot coming around the corner. Shoot.
Yeah, man, give me Warzone any day, so idiots like me feel like they can contribute. That's why I love Halo 5.
Yeah.
Anticipated game, I'm Horizon Zero for me. A lot of Sony games on here, by the way, people. I'm sure that will get the fanboys happy. It's all Sony games, right?
Except Quantum Break, yeah. I mean, I don't think No Man's Sky is going to come out in 2016, so...
Dude, they said June, guaranteed.
I'm going to put... I'll put money on it that it doesn't come out.
It's not a PS4 exclusive either. I know a lot of people think
no,
it is.
It's run... apparently the build... I believe... who was it that said this? Laura, who does some work for Destructoid, and she's on Jim Sterling's podcast as well. I think she said she had it on good word that it's not running on PS4. It's like running on PC right now whenever we see it. So
yeah, and I think it's actually going to make it to most platforms too. It might be a time.
See, I think it'll be PS4, PC, but
only, or do you think it's going to be like Tomb Raider
only.
And they get a window and then
I think it'll just be those
later.
two. But I mean, I could be wrong. I think Horizon's going to be cool, and Last Guardian. I mean, that game, I cried knowing that was still coming out. So
yes,
I anticipate
that's another
all of
franchise
them.
I just never got in. I was in college at that point in time and doing dumb shit, so I never got into that. But I understand its importance to some people.
Yeah.
All right, the rest of these are just fucking stupid.
Wait, no, I care. Hold on. Who the hell are these people? Okay, don't care. Esports team. Which one is YouPorn sponsor? Whichever one, I'm voting for them.
They didn't make it.
The
thing with the esports, it's still a lot of the and I hate to call them niche games because they have massive followings in other countries, but I mean, who gives a shit about Counter-Strike? Who gives a shit about Dota 2?
Yeah. I mean, but I'm pretty sure
people.
like.
Oh, I know. But I'm saying
Counter-Strike.
Like, your typical gamers though.
I mean, more than whatever. I'll move on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Counter-Strike only because there's like one of our friends is always talking about playing that game, and I'm just like I don't have a PC, so I mean he plays it on PC.
I guess
all the
my
time,
point is, if you're looking at these sports or these games, are you really going to go, man, I can't wait to watch this Counter-Strike match or this League of Legends match?
Yeah, but millions of people watch League of Legends matches.
Oh, I agree, but not really in this country. It's
they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they put it. It's on college. They put college matches on ESPN now. Like,
oh, isn't that what like people were up in a tizzy about like a few months ago?
Yeah,
like, oh my God, there's esports on ESPN.
Colin Coward, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's just a blowhole, but.
Douchebag.
But like that, it is becoming like a serious thing where people are getting, you can get a college scholarship for being good at whatever you do in League of Legends and/or that stuff.
I guess I would just like to see bigger name games in there, like the Halo 5s and shit like that. That stuff, at least for me, would be more entertaining. But yeah, esports is blowing up as evidenced by all these fucking categories. I mean, they have Player of the Year, Team of the Year, Game of the Year, Advanced Warfare. Okay, that was like 8 years ago. Hearthstone. Really? Isn't that just a fucking card flip game?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like my game as single player, so.
Here's another one that fucking pisses me off. I just think this is stupid. Trending gamer.
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
Personalities. I don't know.
I mean, we're literally just creating awards to give these personalities, these YouTube people.
Well, that
Yeah, but I
goes
mean,
back
that's-
to the Games for Change thing. Like, those are all outspoken people of a certain socio-political belief, except
Who
Toby
is-
Fox, I guess. So we need to
Is
make
Total
sure we
Biscuit Jim Sterling, right?
No.
No, he's a different
Yeah,
guy.
he's a different British guy.
Yeah, I thought they're all the
Yeah.
same. I don't
But
know who Monte Cristo is.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the world we live in now. I mean, a majority of people are found off of YouTube. Like, oh, your
Oh,
video made like you know
You're-
2
you're
million
exactly
hits. Like,
right.
there
No,
you go.
I'm being completely salty on this one. There's no doubt about it.
There's, I mean, I probably know who the PewDiePie guy,
you know
Pie
PewDiePie.
guy,
He's the number
like-
one YouTuber in the world.
but I don't.
That dude makes like
I don't get it.
He
Oh, yeah.
makes 14 million a year from YouTube.
That's stupid.
Good for him, though.
I think
Like,
it's awesome.
As
Yeah,
salty as I am with, like, I don't.
Well,
care,
I
but-
mean-
No, I think we all feel the same way. We're all like, hey, listen to me. I mean, I'll tell you right now, the reason I run a fucking website and I do as much work as I do, I want people to be like, hey, I like listening to that guy. I like reading that guy's stuff. Who is that guy? Entertainment. I mean, it's all self-serving. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, like, what does he offer? I mean,
He offers
I'm
content
just-
that a
just-
certain age group can relate to and
no,
share.
Ray's exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, if we
It's-
focus on PewDiePie, he is the perfect storm
Yeah.
of what you. I mean, you gotta remember, he got in right when YouTube started. The reason he became so popular is because, I mean, he's from Switzerland, so when
Sweden.
YouTube came there, or Sweden,
Yeah.
when YouTube was in that country, he automatically became, hey. Oh, if you sign up for YouTube in Sweden, oh, you should check out PewDiePie. He's, you know, a cool guy. And then eventually he did the whole Let's Play thing, which people really never did before because there wasn't fucking YouTube before.
Yeah.
And people are like, wow, that's neat. A guy, ooh, look, his face is a picture-in-picture on the video. That's crazy. And he's making silly faces and doing stupid stuff in the game. We've never seen it before. So they were all first-to-market type of people. Markiplier. But, yeah, you look at him now, you're like, I mean... You
I
watch
just-
some of PewDiePie's stuff, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
I don't get it.
People love him.
You
I
know?
mean, he's a fucking global sensation. He was just on, I think he was on Jimmy Kimmel, or he was on one of
He
the
was
big
on
late night
Kimmel,
shows. Yeah. So I mean, they're legit people. It's just like, again, this is me hating. I'm like, why the fuck do people like these guys, and why don't they like me? And that's exactly where my beef comes from. I'll be honest. It's like the one guy that to this day will burn my fucking blood is Francis, the fat fuck that smashed his Xbox 360 and somehow became famous from that. I mean, that guy makes me sick. Because the only reason people like him because they like to laugh at him because he's a big fat mess that acts like a
Right.
goon, like a crazy person on camera. He puts no production value into his stuff. It's like, you know, Microsoft flies him to events. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing these days? These are our idols in gaming?
Well, I mean, I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make. It's like, what, like, I don't get
Well,
it.
it's like Ray said, the younger generations are fucking dopes. I mean, they just like
fucking-
stupid shit. It's free. They can get it on
Well,
YouTube. That's
Ladies
why.
and gentlemen, that's America. That's the next generation that's gonna
You know,
do wonderful things in this country.
I want Rady Pie to come out. You know, why can't there be a Rady Pie?
I don't give a shit. Like,
And best fan creation is the last category. I'm always gonna go with my boys at Quarter Digital.
there we go. I don't know anything
Yeah.
on there, so
I have
agree.
no, I have no
Yeah,
nothing
I mean,
about
they
that.
always make good stuff, and so that's that, everyone. Those are going to be your game nominees and categories for the Game Awards 2015, hosted by Geoff Keighley, everyone's favorite gaming host.
That dude's like a millionaire.
Oh, dude, he's easily one of the biggest names in gaming.
Well, I think he was like independently wealthy before getting into games, so like was able to do very well and just build upon that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's killing it. Good for him.
Does he own Game Trailers then, or?
I have no idea. I know he and Kojima are boys though.
No, he's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, he's up there with. He may even be bigger than Major Nelson, but he's in that stratosphere. I mean, he's bigger than the Chobots and all those people. I mean, he is gaming really,
Mm-hmm.
whether you like it or not. So, That's it, motherfuckers. We're going to wrap this one, people. You know, we just kind of riffed on some of the hot topics in gaming this week, which included Fallout 4, Rise of the Tomb Raider, a little bit of ditties on Black Ops 3 and Halo 5, and, of course, the Game Awards 2015 nominees. When you want a real Game of the Year, Game Awards type of list, make sure to tune in for Entertainment Buddha's Golden Buddhas, because we take it very seriously. And we always pick the best categories to keep you entertained.
Until Matt decides he wants to have a specific thing win a specific category.
No, well, that only when it came to a tiebreaker. Yes,
Yeah,
I did
no, I'm
definitely.
teasing.
I came in. Well, when you have a staff of 15 and only 2 people participate, sometimes you gotta make calls as the leader. So on to the next one. But you know, we'll be doing all our awards coming up in December
it's
once
always
some of
fun.
the staff gets more time and all that fun stuff. And I'm sure we'll have a big podcast to celebrate that. So it's been fun talking with you,
Yeah,
Ray and Anna.
always a blast.
Always enjoyable. Hopefully you can do some more later on, or throughout the year, or once school ends for some of you. But in the meantime, everyone, you know what to do. If you want to make yourself a better geek one post at a time, you just have to simply browse to entertainmentbuddha.com on any of your internet-connected devices, because we've got you covered. So I will leave you with that. Everyone, enjoy the weekend. Have fun in the wasteland. Have fun raiding those tombs. And if you're like me, have fun at B-Dubs tonight drinking your 23-ounce Coors Light piss. Bye-bye.